to Dover for tonight's Pit Pass 125, Pit Pass NASCAR 125. My name is Robert Hill Jr. Joining me tonight is Chris Wright. Chris, how you doing, my friend?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
Doing fantastic, my friend. Let's take a look at the race information here tonight. Going to be 125 laps, no stages. Of course, a point at halfway for the halftime leader. And these drivers will have just 4 sets of tires. And now a look at the starting grid this evening. Starting in the pole, once again, is Chase Cabre, your winner last week, ahead of Ethan Stanley on the front row. Chad Frankenfield and Ethan Burrell make up row number 2. Tyler Fode, Tate Lytle in row 3, with Tommy Ryan and Leighton Norgard making up row number 4. Nick Massey, our in-race reporter tonight, and David Tooker making up row number 5.
Yeah, and then after David Tooker, we get into Vincent Isabella, starting 11th. We got Corey
They should be with us momentarily. Here they come. Green flag in hand, and green flag about to be waving as we head for the Geico restart zone. We are green in the Pit Pass NASCAR 125. Already, Chris, you see a battle for the lead. Actually, Chase Cabre able to pull away from Ethan Stanley. Stanley now going to be side by side, going to be able to clear the Chad Frankenfield machine as they work their way already into turn number 3. We're going to have to keep our eyes peeled throughout this one for any sort of incidents. The wall going to be very inviting and enticing for these drivers tonight. Obviously going to want to avoid that wall, but sometimes it just doesn't want to avoid you.
Yeah, and we got a Leighton Norgard there up into the fence. What these guys are telling me before the race was that the car drives really, really good. So that tells me after about 10 or 15 laps, these guys are probably going to be really, really tight in the middle. And when you hit that tight in the middle, it's going to snap loose off. We got a car in trouble, a 22 on the front stretch.
That is Andrew Hardcastle. Ooh, he has hit the wall a ton there. I believe Brandon Key also going to be involved in that one. We'll take a look at the Rebilas photography replay machine. That is the number 20 car just behind Andrew Hardcastle. That is Gavin Higgins. Going to get into the rear of that car, send him down into the inside wall. Not sure where Brandon Key gets involved, but it is
hit him, though.
Big hit for Jaden Racimus as well. Oh, whoa. I think that was a completely separate incident for Brandon.
Yeah, it looks like Brandon's going to push up into the side
of Gerald. Does he hit the side of Gerald? Yeah, exactly. Hits the side of Gerald, gets down into the inside wall. I think he... no, that's black smoke coming out of that car. That thing is done for the day. So already down 2 cars here at the start of this one, Chris. Andrew Hardcastle. Actually, likely 3 as Jaden Racimus going to pick up a bit of damage. We'll see. Yeah, look at the front end of that machine. That's a lot more than a bit as he currently sits on pit road. That 07 car already at the attention of his pit crew. Now we're going to take the chance to talk to Nick Massey while Chris Wright works out a little bit of race controlling up here. Not controlling the race, just controlling the flow of it, as we'll pull Nick Massey into the booth. Hey, Nick, it's Robert up here in the booth. You got a copy?
Hey, yes, sir.
We didn't get a chance to talk to you before the start of the race, but what's your outlook for this one here at Dover, and what's the strategy to get up to the front?
Yeah, qualified pretty decent. I thought it was going to be a really good lap. It was better than it would have been top of the board in practice, and then I guess the track dropped a lot in temperature there between practice and qualifying. So started P9, so hopefully we'll be able to work our way up there. But the setup feels really good. I think it's kind of works in favor of my driving style. So hopefully we'll be able to kind of pick these guys off here, get some green flag runs.
So for those tuned in at home, Nick, what's one of the biggest challenges that you're going to face throughout this evening?
I'd say just passing in general. I think it's going to be, everybody up here is going to be pretty even. So it's kind of just going to be waiting for somebody to slip up a little bit. The setup seems to fire off pretty loose and then tighten up. So I think tire wear is going to be a big factor too, keeping the tires on the car. Because I think, judging by what was going on in practice, it's going to chew the tires up. So whoever can put an egg under the pedal up off the corners and keep those rear tires on is going to probably have a pretty good night.
Well, Nick, best of luck. We'll get you back down to your team, and we'll talk to you a little bit later.
Yes, sir.
Hey, Nick, before you go here, I just want you to know, you're my pick to win. We haven't done that yet. I'm picking you to win. Get the job done.
Yeah, what you're saying, stick with the what?
I'm saying stick with Nick. If you want me to quit picking you, you're going to win a race.
All right, so you have picked Nick Massey to take the victory here tonight. A lot of good picks throughout this field, Chris. A couple NASCAR drivers, a NASCAR owner in Colin Fern making his return to Elite as well. I'm going to have to go with somebody that's just consistently fast no matter where we go. And guess what? He's actually going to be starting right there with Nick Massey. I'm going to go with the 56 of Tate Lytle as the pace car going to work its way down to pit road. We're going to go green this time in the hands of Chase Cabery once again. Ethan Stanley on the high side. That's Frank Field and Burrell right behind. We are green flag racing once again. And race control, what was the ruling on that yellow flag?
Well, that ruling there was pretty easy. 22 car self-spun. Caused the wreck there, got ran into by the 07 after he was spinning, so it's pretty easy to call that tally on that 22 car.
Absolutely. Great call once again by Race Control. Taking a look a little bit further back, we got some gaggles out here. Absolute gaggles of race cars. Ooh, that could have gone wrong. Nearly 3 wide off of turn number 4 with David Carpenter, Gavin Higgins, and Kynan Jones right there on the number 85 machine. Watching Dustin Dewar trying to work his way up. David Tooker just entering the top 10. Actually started 10th, currently battling with Nick Massey for position number 8 on the racetrack. He's been able to work his way up into that spot. A great drive so far by David Tooker. Of course, winner of a Mazda MX-5 race a couple weeks ago. Congratulations to him on the real world victory. Anytime you can get it done in the real world, we're always going to cheer for you.
Oh, we got a wreck here on the front
Michael
stretch.
Haas. Oh, Dustin Dewar going to go around. I thought we were going to keep it clean and green here, Chris, but Dustin Dewar going to go around. He slides up into the side of Tyler Popp, then gets down into the right front of Corey Heim, ends up in the front end of Michael Hosick, and then that just continues on into a full spin into the wall for Dustin Dewar. So caution number 2 of the day in the hands of the 32 of Dustin Dewar. Bit of rear end damage on that machine. He's going to have to take it pit side and see what they can do to get that car repaired for him. And just an update of the cars that did hit pit road earlier from that opening incident. They are all still stationary on pit road with some pretty substantial damage. That's Brandon Key, Jaden Racimus, and Andrew Hardcastle. So unfortunate for them so far that the race not necessarily going the way they would have expected. Couple notables up here. Actually, Corey Heim going to take it to pit road in his number 36 car. Not sure why his paint hasn't shown. It's not showing for anybody in the server, but when we pop up the overlay here, it is showing a 1-8 Coffee number 78. He's driving the 36 tonight, so potentially something to do with that maybe, but just not showing up for us. You can see the outline of the logos. Maybe they pulled their sponsorship at the last second. But a couple notable movers so far. Your biggest mover, actually, Gerald Campbell in the 00. He's up 10 spots, started 37th. Another big mover, Gavin Higgins, up 7 positions, started 28th. Conan Jones started alongside him in 27th, now up to 20th. So up a handful of positions as well. Scott Crump in 15th, started 20th this evening. So not what we would have expected out of Crump, but I absolutely love the paint scheme that Crump is running. I believe this is another JD Designs car. Yes, it is. You can see that on the rear pillar there. John Cutlip did a nice job making it sparkle out here for Scott Crump. Tyler Fode driving another one of those JD Designs machines. A little bit of a classic look on Fode here tonight. I like it. We'll do something a little bit different on this upcoming restart. We're gonna ride on board with Chad Frankenfield when the green flag drops. Just see what a restart looks like from behind the wheel. You want to be able to see the leader in the restart. Hence, we're gonna start with Chad Frankenfield as Chase Cabri becomes one with the pace car. Maybe a little bit of how do you do, or get the heck off the racetrack. I want to go racing. One of the two. Our in-race reporter, Nick Massey, currently back there in position number 9. No gain, no loss so far. He's kind of just stayed even. Vincent Isabella right there behind him in that 10th spot. We'll see what Vince can do tonight. He's been very sporty the last couple of weeks. We'll see if luck is on his side tonight. Maybe he can work his way up and fight for this victory. Still, of course, a long way to go. 112 laps or so as the lights are off on the iRacing.com pace car. We're going to get set to go green this time. Let's hop on board now with Chad Frankenfield as he prepares for this upcoming restart. You take a look to his right. That is where Ethan Burrell will be at some point. Currently hanging back just a little bit. And if you look to the left, that's where you don't want to be. The inside wall, never friendly to these drivers whatsoever. As Chad gets into the correct gear for the restart, we're going to get set to go green once again at the end of caution number 2. Green once again on lap number 15 as the pace car prepares to pull off here. Chris Wright, let's go racing once again with Chase Cabri, Ethan Stanley, the control cars, Chad Frankenfield, Ethan Burrell, and Tyler Fode round out the top 5 as we head for the Geico restart zone. You can see it on the right side wall here as we are racing once again.
What a jump that leader get. Oh, we're wrecking in the back. Oh, Gerald Campbell.
We are okay.
They all gonna save it? Somebody's down in the grass.
Mark
I think that's Mark.
Rebilas. RebilasPhoto.com for all your photography needs and breaks. Because apparently he was able to stop and not get caught up in a wreck. As we see Chad Frankenfield. Ooh. Chad nearly sent it on the inside of Ethan Stanley right there. That could have got a little bit hairy for those drivers. You see Ethan Stanley here in second. Chad Frankenfield currently holding on to position number 3. He's trying to get up there and battle for this race lead with Chase Cabri, with Ethan Stanley, as we are still green here on lap number 17, hoping to piece together a little bit of a run.
lots of cars picked up some damage back there too. I believe Colin Fern, one of our guys here from the real world, picked up a good bit of damage there on the nose of his race car through that stack up.
The FRS number 96, of course, representing his NASCAR Xfinity Series team that we hope to see back on the racetrack at some point this year. Haven't really heard much out of that team at all this calendar year, but hopefully some plans in the works. We monitor this battle for the lead. Of course, battles all throughout the racetrack. We're going to jump back to this one. It is Jeff Ryan up on the high side. Ty McIntosh on the bottom now, going to fall back to position number 18. So these drivers duking it out for position. We're going to try to follow as many close battles as we can. You see Vincent Isabella get ahead of Jay Connor, now going to chase down Nick Massey, who's trying to chase down Tommy Ryan, who in turn is trying to chase down David Tooker. So all of these drivers looking for their positions as we jump back up front. Of course, it continues to be Chase Cabery out in front of Ethan Stanley and Chad Frankenfield. A bit of a shuffle at the back. We're actually going to be 3 wide. Colin Fern on the bottom. Seth Rawls in the middle. Andrew McCall, he's calling his shot up on the high side. He's going to fall back now into position, is just up ahead. I believe we're 3 wide once again. No, back to 2. As Gavin Higgins going to clear out. Hunter Smith, Tyler Popp, Conan Jones just behind. So these drivers all duking it out for position in the early stages of today's race. Not many laps in the books, but the intensity and the action is absolutely through the roof. Conan Jones into the outside wall. Jaden Racimus into the wall as well towards the rear of the field. That's actually Jesse. I do apologize. I have to get an update on my Rasami as we continue on. We're going to be side by side. Once again, it's Jones and Popp battling for position as Jones clears. Let's jump back up to the front where the lead battle is separated by just over 1/10 of a second. Chase Cabery and Ethan Stanley.
And you see this field has quickly gotten lined up single file on the bottom, and the reason for that is the tires wear out more in the outside lane. Oh, we're wrecking here on the front stretch. Kanye Jones.
You just call him Kanye Jones?
Kanye Jones.
Kynan Jones. As we watch the 85 of Kynan Jones, that's a 54 of Hunter Smith on the high side. Looks like some contact between those drivers. Tyler Popp just nowhere to go. Corey Hyman to sneak through. Actually, Seth Rawls is going to get a piece of that as both Popp and Jones pop into the inside wall. Some damage on both of those race cars. Actually, I believe blown motors in both of those cars. Wow, that's unfortunate. Yeah, Tyler Popp blowing up. Conan Jones also has blown his engine. That's a lot of engines here early on today, Chris.
Yeah, and I noticed that in the last build update that we got. That
we're up to about 5 or 6.
Yeah, the Xfinity Series had its damage model updated, and like the slightest contact on the nose seems to grenade the engine.
Bit of a shocker here, but some updates here. Here comes Ethan Stanley, Chad Frankfield, Ethan Burrell, Tate Lytle, David Tooker, Tommy Ryan, all from the top 10. The drivers to stay out. Chase Cabery, Tyler Fode, Vincent Isabella, and Nick Massey. I actually want to get a word with Nick Massey and just see the reasoning that they've opted to stay out here in comparison to everyone else that has taken it to pit road. So let's have a word with our in-race reporter. Nick, it's Robert up in the booth. Walk us through the decision to stay out here.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised that many guys pitted there. I just think it was too early. I think, we've been out here 26 laps, but we've had, 3, 4 yellows? So, what about 10, 12 laps on the tires, maybe?
You are one of 9 cars to stay out here. Chase Cabery, Tyler Fode, Vincent Isabella, yourself, as well as Crump, Thomas, Smith, Robin, and Hanshaw.
That's a pretty decent group then. I thought there was a lot less. But yeah, I just felt like it was too early, not enough laps on the tires. We only got 3 sets, so I just felt like it was a little too early to waste one there.
How are we feeling so far with the green flag racing that we've had? Car handling well, able to make some passes out there?
It's been pretty tough to pass. especially we didn't get deep enough into a run where tire wear really became an issue. So it'll be interesting to see if that does happen, where guys stack up. But it's going to be a mess back there with those guys on new tires, I'm sure, because we're definitely feeling the wear a little bit. But yeah, no, it's been fun so far. So hopefully get some more green flag rounds.
Well, best of luck to you. Try to keep it out of that inside wall. It seems to be grenading the engines today. We're already at about 6 engine failures in the first 25 laps. So best of luck to you, Nick Massey. Keep that car clean, keep it green, and we'll see you at the end of this one.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Once again, that is our in-race reporter, Mr. Nick Massey, driver of the number 48 machine for Lake Norman Motorsports. We're going to step away real quick. When we come back, we'll take you through the middle stages of today's Pit Pass NASCAR 125 on the Elite Racing Network. Don't go anywhere.
The NASCAR Cup Series returns to Worldwide Technology Raceway on June 1st and 2nd, 2024. The time to get your tickets is now. For only $10 down, you can lock in your seats for an incredible weekend of family fun, featuring the Enjoy Illinois 300 and the Confluence Music Festival. Racing, music, camping, it all adds up to one amazing party. Go to www.raceway.com for the hottest ticket of the year.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
And we are back here. It's the Pit Pass NASCAR 125. Pit Pass NASCAR, the newest podcast from Evergreen Podcast Network, bringing you everything NASCAR from interviews to analysis. Tune in now, and we're going to tune into some green flag racing here at Dover. Chase Cabery, Tyler Fode, the front row, as we are about to hit the Geico restart zone. Chris Wright, let's go racing once again here as we wrap up caution number 3, green flag.
Yeah, caution has wrapped up. Look at Chase get it away. The first car on tires, I believe, is going to be Ethan Stanley.
That is correct. Yeah, Ethan Stanley currently scored in that 9th position. You see him up there just behind Johnny Thomas on the high side. He is the first car on fresh tires. We had 9 cars stay out, and like we have a bit of a shuffle towards the rear. Everyone able to stay A-okay. I thought we were about to have an incident, but just watching these guys, everyone able to get free of the rest of the field up here at the front, as Chase Cabery did pull away. Tyler Fode under pressure from Vincent Isabella, of course, Lake Norman Motorsports teammates in this series. Just behind them, a couple more Lake Norman drivers, and Scott Crump and Nick Massey. As I believe Harrison Talon had an issue. He's going to fall back. Looks like he is A-okay. You're going to see us jumping around a lot because Dover does bring a lot of action here, as you know, Chris. And another thing that's going to bring a lot of action comes tomorrow in the iRacing.com build. That's going to be rain on the surface. Not going to see it on the ovals as an option yet. You may see it soon as Kyle Hanshaw gets the outside wall. He's going to have Jay Connor all over the rear end of his machine. That's Corey Heim on the bottom in the very ominous looking green and black machine. Not to be confused with the black and green machine of Jay Connor right there. Is Matthew Weeks all over the rear end of that Corey Heim car. Look at the sparkle on that number 11. I saw a little bit of smoke actually just ahead of them there, but that may be a pit road barbecue, also known as Conan Jones or Tyler Pop.
Yeah, and like you mentioned with rain coming tomorrow, new build updates. You know, every build they're trying to tweak this oval tire model deal. Well, not tire model. Josh Adams would get mad if you hear me say tire model. The track
Battle
state
for the
and
lead,
whatnot.
Chris. Sorry to interrupt. Here comes the new tires. Ethan Stanley gonna rocket to the race lead with Ethan Burrell just behind him. The Ethans gonna team up and bypass Chase Cabry, and Burrell was looking for another spot, not able to get it this time. Back into line. Your top three single file: Stanley, Burrell, Cabry. Back to you, Chris.
Yeah, the dynamic track, that's what I was looking to get out there. That way we can have more options and not be stuck to one lane like we're seeing here. They want tires to work equally based on the temperature of the racetrack. And oh, we got the 46 with the big slide for life down here in one. I think he's going to save it. What a save.
He did save it. He did indeed save it. Just wasn't sure that he was going to be able to get away from it. But he was. So we do continue on.
And we've got these different tire strategies out here now. This is going to be great for the rest of the race. And you can see what new tires mean. You know, they only had just a handful of green flag laps on their tires, and these boys are cutting through the field like a hot knife through butter.
Absolutely. Chris, I'm just going to briefly flip it over to an elite frame for just a second. I just want to make one slight change to some of the camera options that we have here for Dover. So just stay with us for just a brief second. We'll be right back. And we are back. Sorry about that, folks. Couple extra cameras to work with for us here.
Oh, Josh Robbins around on the front stretch. Wait, are they going to save it? They save it.
There he is, Josh Robin, the 8 car, able to catch it. Great job by Josh Robin.
That really hurt Johnny Thomas.
Yeah, Johnny Thomas, as you can see on the timing and scoring monitor, actually going to fall all the way to 29th. Part of that, I think, does have to do with the tires, because, of course, we mentioned Johnny Thomas, one of those drivers that stayed out, but still a little surprising how far some of these guys have fallen.
Well, I mean, this is just what tires are worth. Dover eats up that right front tire. Everybody talks about how good the car drives. And if the car's driving really good, you're really flying through the corner. You're really baking that right front tire, and it's really going to get tight.
Kind of a cool shot here from the crowd at Dover. As we watch these guys battle side to side. See if we can find who that was, Chris, right? I believe that's Zach Evans. He has come to a slow on the exit of turn 4. He's going to gather that one back up and continue on. Possibly some damage on the
3 wide in the
side
middle
of
of the
that
field.
machine.
David Carpenter's going to get spun. Is he going to save
catch it? Yes, he will.
What I am seeing here is these guys that are getting really tight right now, these guys that stayed out, and even the guys that came and got tires are feeling how tight it is in the middle. And when you're that tight in the middle, you got that much wheel into it, all of a sudden it'll snap on the exit of the corner, which is typical Dover. Every time we come here, you'll see it. You see it in real life as well in the Xfinity cars. Not as much in the Cup cars anymore since they changed the steering and went to that next-gen car.
A little battle brewing here. Vincent Isabella, Gavin Hibbs, Colin Fern, all together on the exit of turn number 4. A bit of doodle and a dance here as Colin Fern going to jump to the middle. I don't know what the heck that means, but he's going to do it anyways as he jumps to the bottom of Vincent Isabella. That's Seth Rawls all over the rear end of that machine as they work their way down the back straight away. Looks like some contact a little bit further back. Might have been Harrison Talon. It was around that particular pack, so either Talon or Robin just had a little kiss with the outside walls. They work their way down the front straight away. Hey, I gotta point this out, Chris. Corey Heim started at the tail of the field, due to a banner violation, he is currently scored 6th on the racetrack. What a drive by Corey Heim. As Chad Frankenfield blinks a little bit right there.
That's one of our guys. It's possibly
Truck
a one-off.
Series regular. No, he's in. He has committed to a couple series here in the Elite Racing League. Of course, the Monday Night Racing League closed recently, leaving a lot of these drivers looking for a new home. Hence why we have Chase Cavery, we got Corey Heim, we got Colin Fern here. We might see some others as well. So that all comes down to that, Chris.
Well, you know what he needs to do? He needs to get in tight there and maybe hit up Justin Vandermeer, get him a scheme for next week if he's here all the time.
I mean, he
Justin
does
put together
have
something
one.
pretty good for him.
He does have one. If you look at the overlay here, Chris, he has the 1.8 coffee machine. It's just not showing for us. And numerous other drivers that I asked didn't see it.
Yeah, well, we're not seeing it. We're seeing a green and black sponsorless machine here for Corey Heim.
I mean, we could definitely shout out Justin Vandermarl, John Cutlip as well, a couple others in the field. As Chad Frankenfield nearly hits the outside wall, he's going to do a little bit of a slice and dice to the inside of Corey Heim. They're going to go 3 wide. I believe that's Dustin Dewar up top. Yes, it is. He's going to lose a position here to actually, no, he's a lap down. So no positions lost, but let's jump up to the front. It's Ethan Stanley leading the way ahead of Ethan Burrell and Tate Lytle, as Lytle's been able to work out his way up to the top 3. So we went from having 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th being Lake Norman cars to 2nd, 3rd, and 4th now being Pro Edge cars behind the Lake Norman car of Ethan Stanley.
Yeah, and real quick here, while we were talking about painters, we got to shout out Michael Goodman there as well. I hear a little bit from Goody if I didn't say something about him being a painter as well. He does a great job with his paints as well.
Yeah, Goody does a phenomenal job. Got a shout out, by the way, a guy called Cousin Christian Hill, providing us a great camera pack here for Dover. Seeing some really cool shots tonight. Quite excited to have that. We're going to actually mix in a couple more after the next commercial break. So that should be fun.
Where's
as well.
Huck at? Is Huck out? Where's the blimp?
Yeah, let's jump up to Dave Huckleberry. He is currently riding the blimp. Let's look back at a gaggle here. Whoa, Chase Cavery's in the gaggle, currently in position number 12.
Well, that's
so
old tires,
he has fallen. That is absolutely old tires. As we watch, I believe that's a Leighton Nor. Oh, Josh Freed has freed himself. He's going to tow back to the pits. Not sure what happened there for him. I believe that might be old news. Looks like he's been there for a while.
Man, you know what these boys that stayed out on that first caution are thinking?
Not sure.
I really should have pitted on that first caution. That's what they're thinking. Oh,
Hey.
we're wrecking here.
Oh.
Jeff Ryan.
Jeff Ryan gonna go around it. It's Ryan time. Let's take a look on the Rebilas photography replay machine, see what just happened to Jeff Ryan to bring out this latest yellow. Watch that 35 machine. Center your screen. Andrew McCall gonna get into that machine.
Why don't you take a different look? Take a different look at that.
Let's get a look from Huck's view.
I believe there was about 3 feet of net code, maybe.
Oh, that's major net code. Even from the blimp cam, you can see that major net code. Watch right here, folks. They're going to come under the Dryden crossover bridge. Not even close. Not even close. And Jeff Ryan goes around. That's just unfortunate, man. I hate moments like that, but everyone going to come down pit road except Dave Carpenter and Jesse Racimus. So Carpenter going to take the lead. He last pit on lap 25, so 30 laps ago. Likely just to get a lap led here as everyone else is on pit road. Let's step away. We'll be right back in about 2 minutes time after caution number 4 here. It's the Pit Pass NASCAR 125 on the Elite Racing Network. Don't go anywhere.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
The NASCAR Cup Series returns to Worldwide Technology Raceway on June 1st and 2nd, 2024. The time to get your tickets is now. For only $10 down, you can lock in your seats for an incredible weekend of family fun, featuring the Enjoy Illinois 300 and the Confluence Music Festival. Racing, music, camping, it all adds up to one amazing party. Go to www.raceway.com for the hottest ticket of the year.
We are back, and Chris Wright under that caution entering pit road. Looked like we had a bit of an issue entering pit. Oh, what in the world just happened? Harrison Talon with the late commit. Looks like he's going to drive it right into the tire barrier. And I believe Zach Evans going to get involved as well. So Harry hits the tire barrier. That bounces him back. Zach Evans nowhere to go. Shoots Harry up into space. Looks like we're going to lose them, unfortunately, though. Watch from Zach Evans' point of view. Sees Harry jump down. Nearly hits the commitment box. Jumps up in the air. Zach Evans into the rear end of that car. Harry does disappear, and Zach Evans blows his motor. You hate to see that, Chris. You absolutely hate to see that. That sucks for Zach. Once again, shout out to Pit Pass NASCAR, the presenting partner of tonight's race, the newest podcast from Evergreen Podcast Network, bringing everything NASCAR from interviews to analysis. Tune in now as we're going to go green once again with an all Ethan front row. It's Ethan Stanley, Ethan Burrell, and we're going to crank it up for this restart. We are green. And we are, of course, following all the action in this race here tonight. We want to thank you all for joining us as well. Always great to have you viewing tonight's race on the Elite Racing Network. Just a heads up, tomorrow night, going to be a fun one in the Pit Pass Network ARCA series. Going to be a doubleheader at Indianapolis Raceway Park, also known as IRP or Lucas Oil Raceway Park. It'll be a doubleheader, so two 60-lap halves, with a full inversion between halves number 1 and 2. First race will be in the daylight, with the other one under the lights. As somebody's in the wall a little bit further towards the rear, I believe that was Andrew McCall, as he's going to continue on. Now, Chris Wright, obviously, you've been pretty busy so far.
Yeah, there's a lot of things going on out here tonight for race control. Lots of issues. Got issues under caution. It's been pretty exciting, and we're right at halfway. But now we got these guys that were running up front who chose to stay out. Now they're mid-pack, and everybody's equal on tires. That run went long enough for everybody to come down and get tires again. So now they're gonna have to recover here from mid-pack.
Of course, you mentioned drivers going with a different strategy. One of those includes Chase Cabery, our pole sitter. Currently finds himself in position number 12 as he gets passed by Andrew McCall. Now Gavin Hibbs going to look to make a move as well. So not necessarily working out. Tyler Fody here as well. Going to try to work their way forward. Yes, you're trying to save tires, Chris. Only 4 sets of tires available to you tonight. 3 sets in the pits, 1 on the car to start the race. But you also don't want to be buried in the midfield. So you have to find that common ground. And of course, these guys much better than me, so they know what to do. As Ethan Stanley leads us here, David Tooker second, Ethan Burrell third. That is NASCAR Truck Series driver Corey Heim in fourth, with Tate Lytle just behind him, and Chad Frankenfield trying to be part of Tate as he is all over the rear end of that number 56 machine. So Chad in 6th, Tommy Ryan 7th. His brother Jeff had some issues a little bit earlier on. He is still out here in the 20th spot. Matthew Weeks 8th. Gavin Higgins rebounding nicely from his early incident to position number 9. And Jake Connor in position number 10. The biggest mover so far is Gavin Higgins, up 19 spots on the day to position number 9. Second biggest mover, Andrew McCall, who finds himself on the outside of Tyler Fody in position number 12 as we have passed halfway. Of course, Ethan Stanley going to be the halfway leader, get that playoff point that he'll get for being the leader at halfway. Congratulations to him. We take a look a little bit further back. One driver, Chris, that I know you've probably taken notice of, and I've noticed as well, not really where I expected him to be, in Scott Crum.
Well, you know, Scott was part of that group that stayed out on that first caution. So he started mid-pack. Then he drove up to about 15th, and then the caution came out. He chose to stay out, and so he was one of the last guys that stayed out. And, you know, Nick Massey's kind of in that same boat. They'll be all right. If they get a long green flag run right here, I have no doubt that Scott, Nick, Chase, those guys are going to find their way back up towards the front.
Just a little surprised, though, with where he's running, considering the fact that we're so used to Scott being at the front of the pack all the time. Just a little weird seeing him in the midfield. But like you said, obviously still a lot of racing to go, still a lot of progression to be made up through the field for these guys. So we'll keep our eyes on the battles throughout and how they can work their way forward.
Yeah, because I'm sure they're going to work their way forward. Got some cloud cover now too, so lap time should get a little quicker. A little bit of shade should make the car handle just a little bit better. And we got Ethan Stanley out front here as well. Ethan's a guy that typically, here of late has really struggled on longer runs, specifically here at Dover. I talked to him before the race. He talked about how he hates this place. Not a fan of this place. Well, the runs have worked out perfectly. He came and got those tires when a lot of guys didn't. And now the strategy has flipped, and we're halfway through this thing, and Ethan's got to be sitting here thinking, I got a chance to take this thing to victory lane. And one guy who was always good here, and maybe he's, that's good for at least a tenth or two, is Mark Martin, and that's who that scheme is based off of. And I know I talk about it a lot, but that is such a great looking paint scheme. Such a great throwback there to Mark.
At first, I thought you were going to say Mark Murphy, and I'm like, Mark's not in the field, Chris. What are you talking about? But no, that definitely makes more sense, as I believe that was Gavin Hibbs just tail slapped the outside wall coming off of turn number 4. He's able to continue on in that 11th spot. Just a little brush, so not too bad whatsoever for him. And, despite the fact that we've had a couple cautions, this race is ticking off at a relatively quick pace, and before you know it, we'll be getting down to the final 25 laps.
Yeah, and one thing I'm watching here, at some point in the next handful of laps, I'm looking at Haley Deegan's significant other back there. I'm looking at Nick Massey. I'm looking at Tyler Fody.
Hold on. Chase Cabry is a multi-time NASCAR K&N Series winner. He is so much more than just Haley Deegan's fiance, but of course a lot of you do know him for that. He is also known for checker flags.
Well, if he's going to go get this checker flag to bring it back to the house, he's going to have to start making some passes here.
Yeah,
it's about
definitely,
time to go somewhere.
definitely go time. Your pick also kind of buried right now, 17th on the racetrack.
Yeah, it's go time for him too. It's time for those boys to get on the Switch.
The Nintendo Switch, how's that going to work out? They got
they're
iRacing on the Switch or what?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. Taking a look at Connor Thompson and Michael Hosick. Although Thompson currently running 26th, he's up 15 spots on the day. Started dead last in 41st, so still a quiet day, but some big gains for him. As we're going to jump up to this gaggle right here. That is Ty McIntosh, Andrew McCall, Vincent Isabella. Oh, Isabella absolutely pushing the heck out of Andrew McCall through that set of corners. Watch for McCall maybe to give him a little love tap here on the exit of turn number 4. Might not be too pleased with the way he was just raced.
Yeah, a little bit of contact, a little bit of tight, a little bit of shove, and now they're separated though. They got some cars between them.
Yeah, a couple cars, but still a big bumper to play with if they opt to do so. Just an update towards the front. Corey Heim has worked his way into the 3rd spot overall on the racetrack, currently just behind David Tooker, as I thought he was going to go for it. Took a peek to the inside, not able to get there. Just of note, Gerald Campbell just in the middle of this action as well. The 00, he is 1 lap down currently, just on the high side of David Tooker. As Ethan
Gerald driving like a Gerald
Stanley
tonight.
driving like a Gerald, as Ethan Stanley dives to the inside of Jesse Racimus, looking to take him a lap down. So now Gerald Gerald's going to have to try to work his way back and get his lap once again, or at least the position over Jesse Racimus to be in the spot for a lucky dog, as we're going to come to 45 laps to go. These guys doing a nice job out front. Chris, if you see any good battles throughout the field, let me know. I think we got one here. Looks like Tyler Fody going to be side by side with Gavin Higgins. That's Fody on the inside. Higgins up on the high side, leaning on him a little bit, as Fody on the inside of Gavin Higgins, just behind Gavin Hibbs. So he's going to go from one Gavin to the other. Now finds himself in a Gavin sandwich. We got 2 slices of Gavin and a bit of meat in the middle, as Fody now going to go up to the high side. Maybe we don't want slices of Gavin. That doesn't sound very friendly. As Fody up on the high side, Gavin Higgins now going to fall to the rear of that machine. Gerald Campbell going to fall to Chad Frankenfield, as you saw right there. Frankenfield currently in position number 6. That's Tommy Ryan and Matthew Weeks just behind him, as these drivers all duke it out for position. Watch for these guys to try to work their way forward. Weeks looks to the inside of Tommy Ryan, not quite able to get there to get that position. That's the battle for 7th. Frankenfield currently holding 6th. Just ahead of them here is Corey Heim, gonna clear David Tooker, move him to 2nd. Now his sights are set on that 92 of Ethan Stanley. Of course, these drivers, for those of you keeping score at home, last pit 30 laps ago on lap number 54.
Here comes Tate Lytle.
I thought you fell asleep, Chris.
Looking underneath Ethan Stanley. Nah, not asleep. Just, I got a lot of different people trying to communicate with me during the race, so.
Just a busy guy.
Yeah, you know how it is
We'll
when you're
shrink
running
that up
race
real
control.
quick for you.
You're
Folks
running
from
race
Pit
control
Pass
and trying to
NASCAR
hook
with
the
us.
broadcast and Josh Robin all the way down by the inside wall here on the front stretch.
Well, Robin, he had his fair share of issues a little bit earlier on, Chris. Let's see if we can take a gander at what's going on with him. He's back in this battle, so I think he's okay. Shout out once again to the folks at Pit Pass Network for being here with us tonight, Chris. Just real quick before we get back to your report, Pit Pass Network, Pit Pass NASCAR, sorry, the newest podcast from Evergreen Podcast Network, bring you everything NASCAR from interviews to analysis. Tune in now.
I'm gonna tell you what, Chase Cabre, Haley Deegan's significant other, Ty McIntosh, Nick Massey, Scott Crump, those guys are
Whose
running
significant other is
really...
Ty McIntosh? Seth Ross? Shifty Sports?
It says Ty McIntosh, well, there's no A in there.
It is McIntosh. It is McIntosh. My former teammate, Ty McIntosh.
Those guys are really flying right now. We talked about how they need to move forward. Well, all of a sudden, they're moving forward.
They are indeed moving forward. Better than moving backwards, that's for sure. The one thing we got to keep our eyes on here is Corey Heim closing in on the number 92 of Ethan Stanley. We're riding on board the number 36 of Corey Heim here. Shows 78 on his Trading Paints overlay. Shows just green and black on the race car itself. But he is currently chasing down Ethan Stanley, separated by 0.7 of a second. Ooh, Ethan Stanley just brushed the outside wall. He brushed it, but he's okay. Able to continue on. We're approaching 40 laps on this particular set of tires, Chris, as everyone gonna tap the wall. David Tooker gives it a kiss. Tate Lytle also gives it a kiss, as did Corey Heim there not too long ago. So everyone giving a bit of a touch to the outside wall. Take a look from high above here and just see what is going on from the stands. Everyone here enjoying the show, having a hot dog, eating a burger, maybe drinking a cold one as we watch this race. Ethan Stanley, Corey Heim, David Tooker, Tate Lytle, Ethan Burrell, the top 5 here as we are almost 30 laps to go. We're getting down to the nitty-gritty. Speaking of nitty-gritty, somebody just came down pit road.
We're going to go fishing in the dark?
We might go fishing in the dark. Here he comes. Andrew McCall going to take it down pit road to the attention of his crew. He's going to call them out, let them know that he is on his way. That was a terrible joke right there. I don't know if you caught that, Chris.
Caught what?
I'm glad you didn't catch it. All right. Battle for third. Here we go. Tate Lytle jumps to the inside of David Tooker. Now Tooker going to jump to the rear end of Lytle, potentially taking a peek to the inside. This battle absolutely heating up for the lead now. Heim just over 0.2 of a second back from Ethan Stanley. Is he going to get there? Let's keep it open. Let's keep our eyes on this as they come under the Ally Bridge. Stanley with the lead, 1.5 tenths ahead of Corey Heim. Here they come to the line. Is it about to be Heim time? He's looking for it, but it's Mr. Primetime, Ethan Stanley, continuing to lead the way by just over 1/10 of a second as Heim going to close that gap almost to the rear end of the Ethan Stanley machine under the Dryden Bridge, headed to the Ally Bridge here. Who's going to be the leader as they come out of turn number 4? It's getting really close, and Corey Heim's ready. He's looking to make that jump to the inside. Not quite there quite yet, but he is all over the rear end. Here he comes to the inside. Battle for the lead. Not quite as Stanley closes the door once again. These guys absolutely putting on a show right now, Chris Wright, as we ride all over the rear end of the Ethan Stanley machine. The rear end of this car currently belongs to Corey Heim. As Heim all over the rear bumper, look for him to take a peek to the inside. He's peeking, he gets his nose there, not quite able to do it, as Stanley makes his car just wide enough, but no, here he comes, Corey Heim to the inside, side by side for the lead down the back straightaway.
Man, Ethan Stanley sailed that thing into turn 1 last time.
Absolutely sailed it like he was at the Barber Boat Show yesterday not quite able to run away with it quite yet, but does clear the Corey Heim machine. And don't look now, Tate Lytle also setting his sights on these drivers. As soon as Lytle comes on scene, you know he is ready to duke it out. Jesse Racines, by the way, just entered pit lane. He is going to the attention of his pit crew as we continue to watch this battle. Ethan Stanley nearly into the outside wall. Corey Heim takes a peek to the inside. It's more than a gander this time. Here comes Corey Heim, looking to take over the race lead under the Dryden Bridge. Is he going to clear him? Not quite yet, as they continue to be side by side, working their way under the Ally Bridge, headed for turn 3. Coming to turn 4, finally able to clear, but will Stanley go for the crossover? No, he is going to stay in line with 26 laps remaining as we take over to lap number 100.
Yeah, for the first time all night, we've got Corey out front. Ethan Stanley showing signs of fading here. It looks like he's gotten pretty tight. This is kind of what Ethan expected. I talked to him before the race. He did not expect to be in this fight. I'll tell you that. When I say what he expected to struggle in the long run and struggle with Dover. I don't think he had any thought in his mind that he'd be racing for the win with 25 to go. And
Chris,
if he can catch a caution.
Something's happening here with Jay Connor. He's just lost a handful of positions within the last lap or so. Gavin Higgins getting by him. Scott Crump and Colin Fern as well, as Crump looks to the inside of Higgins here. Not sure what happened to Jay. Maybe just the tires going away from him here. 24 laps remaining. These guys have been on these tires for 50 laps now.
Yeah, what's happened to Jay is that right front tire is screaming for mercy. That's what's happening to Jay.
We watch side by side here. Colin Fern, Scott Crump. Is Crump up on the high side? Gavin Higgins going to come into play just ahead of them here. Great run by Higgins tonight. Currently finds himself in position number 12 with just 23 laps remaining, as Corey Heim going to put a little bit of a gap now on Ethan Stanley. 0.4 of a second between first and second. Why don't we do this just one more time here tonight, Chris Wright? Let's crank it up with 22 laps to go. As we take a look at this battle between David Tooker and Tommy Ryan, that is for the final spot in the top 5. Chris, a couple pit stops have occurred. Both Jesse and Jaden Racines have headed to pit road, as here comes Tyler Fody to the inside of Chad Frankenfield. They're going to be side by side, as Frankenfield up on the top side. That is Tyler Fody on the bottom. 20 laps to go, coming to 19 this time for Corey Heim. He leads by 3/4 of a second over Ethan Stanley. Tate Lytle in 3rd, Ethan Burrell 4th, and now David Tooker in 5th as he continues to battle it out with Tommy Ryan. We are getting down to the closing stages of this one. Just 19 laps to go, and I gotta ask you this question here, Chris. Do we stay caution-free to the end?
I would be surprised. As bad as these cars are driving right now, as tight as these cars are in the middle of the corner, and they're snapping loose on exit, it would be pretty amazing to see them go all the way to the checker flag right here.
Definitely be interesting as we watch another battle here. Weeks to the inside of Frankenfield. They're going to go side by side for position number 8. Frankenfield going in the wrong direction at this time, as Jesse Racines going to look to the inside as well. Of course, Racines now a lap or 2 down as he just came down pit road. Weeks going to clear ahead of Frankenfield. Racines going to go the inside. Frankenfield going to take the bumper to the rear end of the Matthew Weeks machine. Try to go the high side, not able to get there as Jesse Racines goes on by. They're going to battle side by side behind That's Gavin Higgins on the high side. Chase Cabery on the bottom. Cabery currently outside the top 10. One of the first times that we've seen him in a late event outside the top 10. But he's still going to do whatever he can to try to get up there. Still a long way to go. As now Gavin Hibbs takes a look to the inside of Chad Frankenfield. Frankenfield at a major risk of falling outside the top 10 here in the late stages of this one, Chris Wright. Looks like the tires have absolutely gone away. He's kicked the tires on the kick in the tire, number 15.
Yeah, and is anybody surprised by that? Typically, Chad's one of the first guys to hit pit road. And so to be out here this long and really have no choice, you can't pit because everybody can go to the end without a caution. So I'm not surprised to see Chad be the one that's really struggling. But he's putting up a good fight right now on Chase there. We know Chase. Oh, Chase sideways in the corner. He's going to drive across the apron and get sideways again.
Able to gather that one up is Chase Cabery, as we're coming around to 13 to go. Next time by, a little bit of contact there between Gavin Hibbs and Chase Cabery, so he's going to work his way back into the top 10 if he's able to get clear of that Gavin Hibbs machine. Some battles all throughout the field here.
Tommy Ryan has really fallen off, and so is David Tooker here.
Yeah, they were up there
really
not long ago.
off.
Tyler Fode should be able to get this spot from these guys. He's currently just on the inside of Tommy Ryan, looking to get another position. Speaking of Ryans, Jeff Ryan going to take it to pit road as we watch Tyler Fode make that move and clear the Tommy Ryan machine for position number 6. His sights are set on David Tooker as Jesse Racimus on the apron. I believe he's taking a pit side in the number 70 car. Not sure why he'd go down again, but maybe maybe some issues.
Car on the track.
Absolutely, just going out there for fast lap. As you see Ty McIntosh, Vincent Isabella duking it out here. There is Nick Massey in position 18. He's just been stuck, Chris. He tried to work his way up there earlier, was running up in the top 5, now finds himself back in the 16th spot as he gains 2 positions on track. We're going to go side by side for that 5th spot. Tyler Fode easily going to make quick work of David Tooker as Corey Heim going to come around and face just 10 laps to go in what is, I believe, his Elite Racing League debut here tonight. I may be wrong. He may have a couple of other starts. I want to say he has an IndyCar start, but I could be very wrong on that as he currently leads the way. Coming to 9 this time. Ethan Stanley second. Tate Lytle there in third. Ethan Burrell not too far behind. Tyler Fode working his way down the back straightaway. See if he can get up there and catch these guys. David Tooker, Tommy Ryan, and Matthew Weeks all under a bit of a blanket here. That is 6th, 7th, and 8th on the racetrack with a hard-charging Chase Cabery just behind, and Chad Frankenfield just holding on to the tail end of the top 10. But here comes Scott Crump. And Chris, you know as well as I do, Crump won't be afraid to use the bumper to get a position from that number 15 car.
Yeah, and Crump saved his tires. He's done a really good job. He's trying to follow Chase through here. We'll see what happens. I don't know if, at 10th place, if you'd be willing to wreck somebody, but, Chad's been racing all these guys really hard, so.
I don't think he would wreck him. I think he would definitely use the bumper if he needs to move him out of the way.
If there's contact between these two, one of them's wrecked. That's just how it's going to be. Because once one initiates contact, the other one's not going to stand for it, and somebody, or one or both of them, will end up wrecked.
Ooh, Gerald Campbell jumps to the bottom. Not by choice, I don't believe. Continue to monitor these battles on the field. Let's see what the closest one is for us. And I believe it involves Gavin Higgins back here on the inside of Josh Robin for position number 17. Coming to 5 to go next time by. It's a 2.5 lead for Corey Heim over Ethan Stanley as Matthew Weeks able to get by Tommy Ryan.
90 into the back of the 15 there in the middle of turn 1 and 2. Just a little bit of contact.
What'd I tell you? I told you it was coming here, Chris. And they got to be quick because Colin Fern's coming right behind them. Colin Fern, Gavin Hibbs right behind these guys. You know that they're hungry. You know that they want positions. As Matthew Weeks going to get by David Tooker. We'll keep our eyes on this one here. This is very tight. Frankenfield, Crump, Hibbs, Fern all together. 5 to go. Coming to 4 this time. Corey Hyman across the line with just 4 laps remaining. He is on his way to victory in the Rebilas Photography Grand National Series. Once again, RebilasPhoto.com for all your photography needs. And of course, that 92 carrying the colors of Blue Egg Marketing, the marketing department for small businesses, small business owners. Blue Egg is your biggest fan. And one thing I can tell you here, Chad Frankenfield, not going to be anybody's fan right now as he's fallen all the way back to 13th. Colin Fern working the absolute high side to get by Gavin Hibbs here. Hibbs comes up to block that run from the Colin Fern machine. As Crump going to clear. He's going to get into the side of Tommy Ryan and clear by him. Move Scott Crump to 9-time. McIntosh takes to pit road. Tooker in 8th. 7th is Weeks. 6th, Cabry. 5th, Fody. 4th, Burrell. 3rd, Lido Stanley in 2nd. And Corey Heim taking the popsicle sticks. Just 2 laps to go. And Corey Heim is well on his way to victory here as we are getting down to the nitty gritty. The absolute final dance for these drivers. A white flag in the hand of Barney the Flagman. And Chris Wright, he is about to absolutely wave it as we are just 1 lap to go for Corey Heim. As Heim works his way through turns 1 and 2 for the final time, he's going to head for the Ally Suite as he crosses his way into 3. His buddy Mark Rebilas to the inside. That's a lap car. No issue there, but coming to the line, checkered flag. It's Corey Heim. It's Heim time at Dover's. He's going to drift it into 1. Stanley comes home 2nd. Lytle 3rd. 4th to Fody. 5th to Burrell. Cabry in 6th. 7th is Weeks. 8th is Crump. 9th for David Tooker. And welcome back, Colin Fern in position number 10. Hibbs going to come home 11th. Ryan, Tommy Ryan in 12th. Chad Frankenfield 13th. Jay Connor 14th. Nick Massey 15th. And Vincent Isabella, Josh Robin, Hunter Smith, Michael Hosick, and a Leighton Norgard round out the top 20. We're going to step away real quick. When we come back, we'll talk to your podium finishers. Don't go anywhere.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
The NASCAR Cup Series returns to Worldwide Technology Raceway on June 1st and 2nd, 2024. The time to get your tickets is now. For only $10 down, you can lock in your seats for an incredible weekend of family fun, featuring the Enjoy Illinois 300 and the Confluence Music Festival. Racing, music, camping, it all adds up to one amazing party. Go to www.raceway.com for the hottest ticket of the year.
And we are back at Dover, just wrapping up this one. What was a fantastic race with Corey Heim coming home as your race winner here. We're going to send it over to our good buddy Chris Wright, standing by with your third place finisher, third place finisher, Tate Lytle.
I didn't really get much of an opportunity to. Oh, there you are.
And I'm standing here with Tate Lytle, driving the days going by at Toyota.
You're
Tate?
sitting in a chair right now. Let's be real. You're not standing nowhere.
I can. You want me to stand up?
No, sit down.
But take us through your night, Tate. What more did you need there at the end to go up and get those front two?
I just needed to save more tire. I roasted him off, and I thought I was doing an okay job. Did a little bit better than the teammates, but we think we were just overcharging entry. I tried to put my brake bias back a little bit, but it was too little, too late. But I mean, P3, cool to have Corey out here. I know he's got a busy schedule, so hopefully he can come back out a little bit more. The more names like him, the better off we are as a league. So thanks to him coming out, good win. Also, he did a lot better job than the rest of us saving that right front. The rest of us were just dying off of the corner. But yeah, before you kick me out of here, shout out to Days Gone By, Race EPI. I think I got some work friends watching. Hello to them. Glad I didn't wreck out. I don't know if my dad's watching or not, but shout out to him for watching as well. Poor guy's working out of town, so it's probably about the most fun he'll have today. But yeah, I don't know what else I needed. I'd probably just need to back up the corner a little bit more and maybe arc it down to take it easy on the right front, put a little more stress on the right rear. But it's hard to say if you did it over, if it'd be any better or worse.
And before you jump out of here, Tate, I know that we'll probably talk to you again here. You're really good in this car. It seems like you're always able to be there at the end, even when you're not one of the fast guys. You always find a way to do it. But we hitting the golf course just yet, or time coming here? I know winter's just about over.
Yeah, speak for yourself, brother. No, it's snowing right now, and it's gonna snow more tonight and tomorrow. We probably got a foot on the ground, and we'll probably have another foot in the next 3 days. So I'm looking at about April 15th probably before I put a golf club in my hand. It's unfortunate.
Well, that's good then for the iRacing, right? That's going to be more practice, less time on the golf course, more practice in the sim.
Yeah, I don't know about that either, but we'll try and make the races at least. I got one lap of practice tonight, and it was the qualifying lap, so we'll see.
Well, all right, Tate, it's always fun talking to you and getting to plug their days going by. They do a whole lot for Elite, so we look forward to seeing you next week and racing with you there on Wednesday night as well.
I don't even know we're racing that Wednesday, but I'm sure it'll be a good time. Peace out, fellers.
It's Tate Lytle, your third place finisher here tonight. Now I'm going to be standing by, or I guess sitting by, with Ethan Stanley. Ethan, welcome to the booth. Walk us through that race here tonight.
Yeah, I came into it not expecting anything. If you know me, I hate this track. Probably my least favorite next to Bristol, which is the last place I won, ironically. But yeah, just managed to get up front, got the correct strategy going, and was able to just keep it clean out there.
Now, obviously, came up a little bit short there at the end. Well, about 2.5 seconds short of Corey Heim for the race win. What more did you need to get that number 92 Blake marketing machine up to the front of the field?
I think I just need to save a little bit more front right tire. I had Toker behind me on the restart. He was pushing a little bit harder than I was. So I was just trying to stay ahead, and I think I just burned it up a little bit too much.
And looking ahead to next week, we're going to take this series to Kentucky. What's your outlook for that one? Do you think you could park it in Victory Lane?
I don't know about Victory Lane, but top 5 there is definitely possible. I'm a big fan of that track. So we'll just have to see.
Well, before we let you get out of here tonight, Ethan, why don't you go ahead, give your shout-outs, thank everybody that makes this happen for you.
Yeah, big shout out to Blue Egg Marketing and as well JD Designs. Big shout out to all the Lake Norman guys. They just didn't have the correct strategy tonight. I kind of beat them on that. And then big shout out to you guys for doing the broadcast, and just shout out to everybody that makes the league run.
Congratulations on another solid run here, Ethan. We look forward to seeing you Wednesday night in the Cup Series.
Yeah, thank you.
That was Ethan Stanley, your runner-up here tonight. Now standing by with your race winner, Corey Heim, is Chris Wright.
Yeah, I'm standing here with race winner Corey Heim. Corey, you got here real late tonight, didn't get a whole lot of practice, but it might have been for the better, because if you'd have gotten a whole lot of practice, you might have lapped the field. Take us through your night, how you managed to save that right front so much better than everybody else and find yourself in Victory Lane.
Yeah, good night for me. As you mentioned, kind of got in late, but luckily I have a pretty good amount of experience with the speed car and iRacing, so I really enjoy the Xfinity racing, just the way it drives. I find myself, in a good spot on the long runs and just saving tires and whatnot. I was hoping it was going to stay green because it didn't seem super good on the short run, even though I was trying to save. I feel like the guys around me just, even in qualifying, I qualified in the teens or something. So, huge thank you to 1A Coffee Company, Elite Performance Industries, Tyler Payne for all he does, Twitter Racing, and the guys up front did a really good job racing me clean. Really glad that, this is my first time in the league, so I'm really glad to see long green flag runs and good racing up front. Definitely had a good time tonight, so thank you everyone within the league for putting on a good show and having me along for the ride.
Yeah, when can we expect to see you again? Are you going to be here every week trying to make every race, or just going to be in sporadically?
Yeah, hopefully finish out the season. I was really supposed to do the whole year and just had some more stuff on my plate than originally anticipated. So hate I missed some of the cool races that you guys had to start the year. Seemed like some unique, car track combinations and whatnot. So big apology for the spec map kind of issue I had on the broadcast. I was just watching it back. It looked kind of goofy, but I'll have that fixed going forward. But just thank you to everyone with the league. I'm hoping to be back for hopefully the rest of the year, and we'll just have to see.
All right, Corey, congrats on the win. We look forward to seeing you come back week in, week out, and who knows, maybe you can still get in this title fight yet.
All right, appreciate it.
That is Corey Heim, first-time race winner here in the Elite Racing League. And Chris, right before we wrap things up tonight, I just want to say thank you once again to the folks at Pit Pass NASCAR for joining us this evening. Always great to have new sponsors in the fold here in the Elite Racing League. If you do want to get on board as a sponsor with the league, just reach out to Chad Frankenfield. He'd be glad to work with you on putting something together. But the folks at Pit Pass Pit Pass NASCAR, it's so confusing because we have an ARCA series with a very similar name, but Pit Pass NASCAR, the newest podcast from Evergreen Podcast Network, bringing you everything NASCAR, from interviews to analysis. Tune in now to the Pit Pass NASCAR podcast. Chris Wright, before we get going here tonight, any final thoughts from you after what turned into an actually pretty solid race here at Dover?
Yeah, I mean, it was way better at the end than I thought. We had that long green flag run to end the race. Lots of tire fall off, lots of people struggling, but everybody did a great job to keep it together. Saw a lot of green flag racing. I thought, there by the time we got to that 40, 45 and had all those wrecks, it was going to be one of those kind of races, but then it cleaned up real quick. So it was a great show. Great job by all those boys at the end to be able to see that track widen out. I think that's a testament to iRacing's track stuff that they've got implemented so far. So hopefully there after the build tomorrow, we get even more of that and can get up there a little sooner. But there, those last 10 or 15 laps, those boys were all running from the wall to the bottom. So lots of good stuff coming soon to iRacing. Going to have rain. Hopefully you get that Pit Pass Network race tomorrow, and hopefully everything goes off without a hitch. But on a build day, especially with something getting implemented like rain, if you don't see us tomorrow, just know it's time to play it by ear.
That was actually going to be my closing remark is if you don't see us tomorrow, it's due to iRacing just absolutely falling apart, which honestly has happened in the past on a build day. I ran in a previous league and we tried a couple races on build day and we ended up scrapping that going forward. So hopefully we can be here tomorrow night. It should be a great night in the Pit Pass Network ARCA series. That'll kick off at 7:30 Eastern time. It'll be myself and William White on the call for that one. A doubleheader at Indianapolis Raceway Park. Hope to see you there as we will set the field for our playoffs. But this one tonight was fantastic. Some great racing side by side, 3 wide as well. And just everyone duking and dodging each other to get every possible position. But on behalf of Chris Wright, my name is Robert Hill Jr. Thank you for joining us this evening, and we look forward to seeing you right back here tomorrow night, Pit Pass Network ARCA series at IRP. Have a good night, everybody.